All right. We're going to start with the check my progress here. Now, obviously, the estimating part's the toughest for you guys. It's tough for me sometimes to see the compatible numbers things. So sometimes that just takes a little bit of practice getting used to seeing. So what I showed Ray up here is I said, I look at this number here, and I say, well, does it go into 2?
No.
But does it go into 24?
Yes.
I know that. So your ultimate goal when you're doing like estimating is to get as many numbers 0 as you can. So since we know that this 8 goes into 24 evenly, we're just going to make that a 0. So really our problem is 240 divided by 8. So then you just say, well, how many times does 8 go inside of 24? 3 times. I'm trying to write with my right hand here. And then how many zeros are there?
3. 1.
So your answer is 30 when you're just estimating that. I know, right? For right-handed, it's not bad. If you can't see, you can always move if you need to. Yeah, I'm left-handed. This one here, you got to say, will 6 go into 7 evenly?
No.
Well, it does go in, but not evenly, right? No. So then you got to look at it and say, well, does 6 go into 70 even?
No, but you can. Yes.
Well, if you know your multiplication facts, which I have a feeling I'm gonna call on Asher here, and he's gonna tell me what number I want. I know that 6 doesn't go into 70, but there's a number that 6 does go into that's pretty close to 70. Huh? Not 100. Asher? No.
72.
72, right? It does go into 72 pretty even. Because, again, if you got to your 12s, which a lot of us haven't gotten to our 12s, I get that. 12 times 6 is 72. So we can make this that. So how many times does 6 go into 72?
12.
12 times, and then how many zeros are there?
1.
So our answer is 120 right here. Okay? And then the last one is, does 4 go into 8?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Now we could, and probably we will, just because if we're just estimating, it's not that big of a deal. But 890 is pretty far from 800, isn't it?
880.
It's pretty far away, right? So you could do 880, like Ray said, divided by 4. That's not a very good 4, am I right? That's my weakness, doing a 4 like that. So how many times will 4 go into 88?
22.
22 times. How many zeros?
1.
So see, that's kind of how we get it's estimate. It doesn't have to be exact. Close. And probably if it's on the test and I say give me an estimate, if you're pretty close to it, I'm going to go ahead and go with that one. Because I know you could have said 800 and that would just the answer have been 200. But that's a little bit closer to what we wanted. Down here, straight up dividing. Now today's going to be a little different because we've started out doing the 5 goes into 6. But today, this number, the divisor will not go into that first number. So that's the only difference today, and I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. But how many times will 5 go into 6, Ethan? 1, put the 1 here. And then what's our next step, Ethan? Times it. So what's 1 times 5? 5. What do you do to those, Ethan? What do you do now? Subtract it. What's 6 minus 5? 1. Now what? Bring down the 3. Now what? Yeah, 13 goes into 5, he said, which is 2. Now what? Which is? Now what? And? Now what? Which is, now what? So 5 goes into 30 how many times? And then 6 times 5 is? There you go. Your answer is 126. If I were to check it, I'd say 126 times 5. I'm not going to check all these, but again, some of you didn't check your homework yesterday, and that's why you got it wrong. What's 6 times 5?
30.
Put the 3 up here. That's 5 times 2.
10.
Plus 3.
13. 6.
So see, it checks. 630, 630. So how many of you, when you did your checking last night, you're really confident then that you're going to get a great, yeah. You all did a good job of that until you flipped to the back side and you didn't check any of your work. So that's what a lot of you did. You didn't check it. You forgot to or something, all right? It's going to be the same idea today. What'd you come up with the answer on this number 6 here, just for sake of time? Ray?
1971.
1971? A little high, seeing how the answer is a little higher than this one right here. What do you have, Lauren?
I got 291.
Who had 291? Anybody?
Nope.
Oh, let's see what we got here. 1766 divided by 6. So this is kind of what we're doing today. I don't know why they threw this one on here. Does 6 go into 1? How many times does 6 go into 17?
2 times.
So you put the 2 above the 17. Now what's 6 times 2?
12.
Now what do?
You subtract it.
7 minus 2?
5.
5. Now what?
Carry down the 6.
Carry your 6. Now what?
6 goes into 56.
Anybody know how many times 6 goes into 56 without going over?
9.
9. 9 times, what's 9 times 6?
54.
54. Subtract those, you're going to get? Now what?
Bring down the 6.
Now how many times does 6 go into?
4.
You're close. You said what, 291?
Yep. 294.
So this is 24, and then subtract remainder of what?
2.
So it should be 294 remainder of 2. All right. Then they go to a really easy problem. Makes sense. Let's go from a really hard one that we're haven't really even done before to one that was back in 4th grade. All right. Emma.
So you do 2 times 8, which is 4.
Okay.
Then you subtract 8 by 8, 0. Bring down to 7. Then 2 times 7 is 6. No, you have to do the 6.
2 goes into 7 how many times?
6, because you can't do 7.
Up here, 3. 3 times 2 is what? 6. Subtract that, what do you get? So 43 remainder of 1. How many of you have 43 remainder of 1? Okay.
I had to check mine because I wasn't for sure.
Okay.
I had to check mine.
He had to check it because he wasn't for sure. So again, he said 43 times 2, he gets 6. Then he's like, oh, I'm wrong. But then he's like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that 1. I got to add that 1 on there. So now I get 87. So that's how we get 87. All right. Let's go ahead and skip to the back side here. I don't know if we're going to go over all these right now because we need to get to today's lesson. Had a little slowdown there. So let's do the number 8 here, and then we'll go on to the homework today. Not homework, but the actual lesson today. You're all like, oh, great, we're going to do homework and not. All right, so what's the division problem we're going to do right here in this first one? 9 parking lots and an automobile. It's full. There's 431 cars. Sailor, what's my division problem there? Divided by what? 9. Is it estimate? Oh, you caught me. Show how you estimate it. All right, because it does say about, right? So 9 goes into, doesn't go into 43 evenly, does it? So what numbers are we going to use to make it go into it evenly? Yeah, I think 450 would be the best, right? Do 450 divided by 9. And then how many times does 9 go into 45? 5. And then there's 1 0 there, so 50, right? And we showed how we estimated by changing that to 450, so that would have counted for that one. All right, put that away. So go ahead and move on.
Yeah.
No sense in swatting at a dead fly, right? It's already dead. I mean, batting now. Sorry. You show Mrs. Crockett your fly catcher that I brought you? It's a fly vacuum.
I don't want to use it. It's those flies, not. Where'd the fly go anyways?
Hopefully the battery's strong enough to suck them up.
Which we don't. We see them still in fly water.
Are we ever gonna get a fly that has to do it?
Well,
Huh?
maybe so.
We'll tape
That's
it.
why with your flies.
We
She
tape
already
it.
broke it.
Did you break it?
Yeah, she broke it.
All right. Anyway, lesson 9. This is called place the first digit. And I got to be honest. When I first looked at this, place the first digit, I'm like, well, this looks exactly like we've been doing. And then it dawned on me, no, it's not. Because what I told you here, the fact that you can't put the 3 into 1, so you got to keep working from there, all right? So remember I told you earlier the essential question? Well, sometimes this could be substituted out for like an amplified, and we call it a what? The big question, right? A big question. What strategies can be used to divide whole numbers? This is like the 4th time we've seen this big question, right? Of how many different ways can we divide? You guys have done the let's see, distributive property, which we all said was easy. I thought was pretty easy myself.
Yeah.
You did. Some of you did. Again, you got to use the strategy that works best for you. The main goal, the end result we want as teachers, and you as a student, is that you do it with a standard algorithm, which means you do it kind of the old-fashioned way, as I kind of say it. All right, or I guess really, this would be considered a standard way of doing it. So we're placing the first digit. A 3-digit dividend may not have enough hundreds to divide. If so, the quotient should start at the next place value position. So let's look at this first one. I received probably 135 emails maybe every 2 days. You probably see more than that. She received 135 emails over 3 weeks. If she received the same amount of emails each day, how many did she receive the first week? So again, we're dividing here. We're dividing, as it already tells you, 135 divided by 3. So let's look at what they're doing here. I promise you, there's really nothing that different other than you just move over a spot. So you say to yourself, can you see all right, Iron? Okay. Will 3 fit inside of 1?
No.
Hopefully you see that. If you've got 1, and you are going to try to squeeze 3 of something into it, it's not going to be able to do it, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. So then you go to the next one. You say, okay, let's look at the whole 13 here. Will 3 fit into 13? Not evenly, she said, but how many times will 3 fit inside of 13? 4 times, right? Because 4 times 3 is what?
12.
And if some of you guys forgot how Asher or some of the people get that answer, because they look at 4, they say, or 3, and they say, well, it goes into that 4 times. If you do your skip counting, you know, like you've done before, and you say like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Well, 13 is what we're looking for, and that's too much, right? So you say 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that's, you just skip count. That's kind of how, if you still don't know your multiplication facts, which, you know, you should, but anyway, 4. So what is 4 times 3 again?
12.
12. You're going to put that right here. When you subtract that, what do you get? 13 minus 12.
1.
Hopefully you see that you don't have to put the 0. I see a lot of you guys doing that. To me, that just adds an extra number you're going to get confused with. In math, if it's 1, you don't have to worry about the 0. If it's on the end. If it's in the middle of the number, you're going to want to do that. But so the next step is we bring down 5 here. So now we should do the same thing over. 3 goes into 15 how many times? 5 times. 5 times 3 is?
15.
Subtract those, you get 0. So our answer is 45. Again, same process, but we can't go into the first number, so we're going to look at the second number there, and we're going to do it that way. All right, we're going to do a couple examples on this. Again, I'm not going to spend an insane amount of time on this, seeing how it's the same process. I need you to see that we skip over. So let's go ahead and go to the independent practice. Independent practice. All right, Ray? Now, let's go with, nobody blurt answers out. Let's raise our hand for this so that we make sure that we have. Colton, will 6 go into 5, Colton?
No.
No. Will 6 go into 57?
Yes.
How many times?
9.
9. And again, he's doing the whole, I mean, he knows 9 times 6 is 54. Some of you might have to do like 6, 12. You might have to do that, and then count them up, see how many times you did that. So he says 9. That's a 9, by the way. You just can't see it. There we go. Colton, what's 9 times 6?
54.
Does that go here?
Yep.
All right. What do you do to those, Colton?
Subtract
What do you get?
3.
Now what?
Carry that 6.
Carry it where over here?
No.
Where?
Carry that 6 down from
Carry it down, Charlie Brown. All right. So now how many times is 6 go into 36?
6.
Yeah, how many times is 6 go into 36?
6.
I know. How many times is 6 go into 36?
That's the answer, you doofus.
Please tell me that got on camera. 6? I'm a doofus. All right. So what's 6 times 6, Colton?
36.
36. All right. What do you get when you subtract that?
0.
Good job, Colton.
I'm totally watching this video.
Good job. Yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of views on that one. All right. I think we can just have Colton do all of them now, all right? No, all right. No, I mean this Colton here. Colton Johnson. Colton, will 5 go into 3? No. Will 5 go into 30? How many times? 6 times. Notice how I put the 6 above the 30. See how that, like, this is the line for the 30. Put it above that. So now what? Come on now. You divided. Okay, what's 5 times 6? All right, good. Now what? Huh? All right, what do you get? Nothing. Now what? No. Next one's this one. 8, yeah. It's hard to tell. It's small. Now what? Good job, yeah. 5 goes in 8. How many times? Once. Now what? Not yet. Which is? What do you do? What do you get? Now what? Now you bring down your times 5 going to 35. How many times 5 going to 35? Thumb times? 7. What's 7 times 5? Subtract those, what do you get? Nothing. Technically, I want to point something out, guys. If you were grading my paper, why?
You didn't check your answer.
Did not check my answers, right? On this one here, I'd say 96. I take the top number, times it by the divisor. What's 6 times 6?
36.
Carry the 3. What's 9 times 6?
54.
Plus 3. Look, 57 and 57, it checks. This one right here,
I did not check mine.
yeah. Who's the doofus now? Huh?
Both of us.
Both of us, all right. 617. This number times that number there. What's 7 times 5?
35.
Here's the 3. 5 times 1.
5.
Plus 3, 8.
30.
And look, it checks out 3085, 3085. Okay. Let's do one more problem here.
And then we gotta do our homework.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're going to do, I believe we're going to do number 6 because it seems the hardest of them all.
How?
Just because there's more numbers. Like these are like 3 digits and this is a 4-digit one. So that's why we're just going to do this. All right. So who wants to do it?
Me.
Colton, you pick. You pick. Pick your victim, your next victim. Oh, he's a You're his victim. he said it maniacally too. All right. Ireland, go ahead and tell me. Does 6 go into 4?
Nope.
Does 6 go into 45?
I should have picked one a different color.
It goes into 36. 6 times.
Try one more. What's 6 times 7?
It's stop. 32.
Good job. 42. Now what, Ireland?
Minus it, and that's 3.
Well, I tell you what, Chesney would be mad if you said minus it. Remember last year she got so mad? Subtract! Right, go ahead, keep going.
Bring down to 2.
All right.
So, put 5. 6 times. 6 divided by 32 is 5.
32 divided by 6 is 5. All right. Now what?
You times it, which is 30.
Okay.
Subtract
Okay. Ethan?
it's 2.
Good.
Then bring down to 7.
Okay. 6 goes into 27.
4 times.
She says 4 times. All right.
And that is 24.
And
Subtract that, and that is 3. And it's remainder is 8.
all right. We're done, right? We're done?
No, we need to check our answer.
Get a sucker, Brian. Get a sucker. You're the only one that said check your answer. Go ahead. Let's check our answer.
You have.
Walk up here and get a sucker. All right, let's check it. We're going to do the whole quotient, the whole number quotient. 754 times what?
6.
Times 6. What's 6 times 4? 24. What's 6 times 5?
30.
Plus 2.
32.
And then what is 6 times 7?
42.
Plus 3?
45.
Are we done? Oh, that doesn't work. 45, 24, and 45, 27. That doesn't check.
Yes, it does, because you have to put the 3.
Thank you. You got to check. You got to minus 3 or add the 3?
Add 3.
Add the 3 on here. Now what? You get 7, 27. Oh, now we're good. Good. We got it. Checks. Now I normally get it right. You don't have any more questions on that? I want to give you plenty of time to work on your work.
Yeah, can we do 11? No more words.
Notice what I just... Hey, guys. Notice what I said yesterday on your homework.
You have to check the answer.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Some of you... And I hated being that mean about it, but I know, Mrs. Crockett, I stood up here... Miss Crockett, I stood up here and I said, you got to show your work, guys. Each problem is worth 3 points. I said, you can miss the problem and still get 2 points as long as you just try and show something. Some of us had 1 out of 24 points.
I was that person.
You didn't have to bring it up, but all right. Some of you had 9 out of 24 whenever you had the right answers, but you didn't show anything. So, right here, it doesn't say check, but I'm requiring you to check it. It didn't say check yesterday, so whenever you get your guys' paper, you need to write check, and listen, I'm going to leave this on here, check and show work. Because some of you, this is what your pages look like. 12, 15, 38, and then you're like, I'm done.
Mr. Young.
Well, you only got 3 out of 9 points
You're
there.
an upside down 4.
These aren't the answers, so please do not copy those down. So,
Remember, Mr. Young gets up 1 at a time, remember?
check.
That's
What?
not the big old like an upside down 4.
I know, you weren't here for that. But they were.
Why do we have to check it?
Check.
Because you have to.
Because you have to check it because
You don't
Then
get
you
it
know
wrong.
if it's wrong or not when you turn it in. If you're not getting the same answer, then chances are you are wrong. So, all right, do the homework portion.
It's okay to be wrong sometimes.
Hang on, I want to hit stop on this. I don't want people to hear me say something stupid.
Okay.